Hi, and I hope this video finds you well as you're about to start your second week back after half term. We're still looking at the energy topic at the moment, and you'll have had a look or started to have a look at fracking last lesson. I believe many of you will have started to look at the documentary that was linked to fracking, and that you are well on your way through that. We're going to look today at finishing the topic or the subtopic of fracking in today's lesson. We've got to understand, first of all, what fracking is, and we then got to understand some of the good and the bad things about it. I think the key things I want you to take from the lesson that Miss Hardy I will put on, and Miss Hardy has provided with some voiceovers, is that you've got to understand, first of all, what it is. You've got to understand why we want to use fracking gas, or the gas that comes from fracking, and we've also got to think about the good and the bad things that are associated with it. You'll be well on understanding by now that there are some issues with regards to using fossil fuels, and how that lots of the fossil fuels that we do have in the UK, as well as around the world actually, are running out. So any new source of fossil fuel is greatly appreciated, and one that the world is really wanting us to find, as it's something we're still quite reliant on. We've also got to think, though, about the negatives. As always in geography, we've got to think socially, economically and environmentally. So as you're going through and as you're making your notes and you're building your knowledge of this, think about the subdivisions that you could make in any potential answers that you are going to give. It's also important to get an opinion. And I think what I really want you to be doing as we're going through this is to get an opinion on whether you think that it's a good or a bad thing. Now, you're not going to be asked a question on your opinion based on fracking, but you will need to think whether you think it's a good or a bad thing. Because one thing we've got to be good at as geographers is critical thinking, and thinking about whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. With this lesson, there's no work to submit, I don't believe, this week, but I'll let you know via Show My Homework if there is. Once you've completed fracking, which will be the first lesson of the week, you're then going to have a look at another example of a sustainable, smaller scale energy production scheme. And we look at a place in Peru called Chabamontera. And that looks at a much more what's the word I'm looking for here? Local is a better way of putting it, and it's much more sustainable in the way that it is done. I'll leave you now. And just follow the links that are on the Show My Homework page for your lessons this week. I'll speak to you again soon.